Hello, 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 hello. Where we at? 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 Still, there we are. Okay, now we got it. I think it's working now. I think it's working now. Hi, everybody. My name is Mike, and this is my YouTube page. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. What's happening? The heck is that? Whoa, that's not what I wanted. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Let's see, what am I trying to do here? I'm trying to do this right here, do this. Does it look all fuzzy on you guys' screen? It looks all fuzzy on my screen. Like it's kind of digitized. Let's see. That is not what that is supposed to say. Does that say that? Doesn't say that, does it? What's happening? Why does this keep happening to me? That is not what this is supposed to say. What is happening? Reload. What does it say now? It says Santa is on South Park. That's not what it's supposed to say. Why does it say that? Can you guys hear me? Are you guys there? Is there anything happening right now? Because I can't. It says that there. Oh, I'm on the wrong page, man. I am on the wrong page, dude. Here we go. Here we go. I was looking at a show from yesterday, and I'm like, why does it say that title? And why aren't I on the screen? And where is everybody? I don't know what's happening. Hi, everybody. Looks good. I'm glad that it looks good. Thank you. And it sounds good too, right? Looks good. Sounds good. Okay. Sound good? Okay, good. Okay, good. Just had pot roast. New instant pot. You have instant pot? Just add water? Instant pot. Wow. I want instant pot. I love pot roast. Craig just got some kind of new instant, like a pressure cooker, rice cooker thing where you're supposed to be able to, like, it's more than just a rice cooker. It's a pressure cooker and like a crock pot and all this in one, you know. So I am waiting for him to make a pot roast. Are you listening, Craig? Pot roast me. Okay, so let's see. So I am here in this place. It is Friday. Oh, I know what's happening. I'm supposed to be doing this other thing. And thank you so much for being here with me, because it's always nicer when you're here, as you know. It just wouldn't be the same without you. I hope you know, because if you don't know, then you're just not paying attention. Because I think I've made that very clear by now. Okay, now it looks right. Hold on just a minute. I'm almost ready. What the fuck is happening? This is so freaking me out, man. Okay, let's see. Almost ready. Almost. Almost ready. You okay, buddy? What's up, little Bobby Bear? What's up, little Bobby Bear? What's happening? Are you talking to me? Whatever. That is not what I'm looking for. God damn it. There. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. So now we all right. I'm ready. Are you ready? I'm ready. I'm ready. Jackie Cat. What's up, Jackie Cat? Have you seen the fan video of Tulsi called Surfwave? I have not seen that. Is it a good one? Should I go check it out? Should we play it on the show on Monday? Is it show or surfing? I keep looking. I want to see video of her surfing. I've seen pictures, but not surfing. Yes, surfing. Oh, I want to see her surfing. I'll have to go look that up. This is frozen. Why is this frozen? Oh, well, that's retarded. Man, stuff is happening tonight. I'm telling you. It is definitely Friday. Okay, now I'm here. Are you guys here? I'm here now. Yes. It's okay. Well, I definitely will check that out. Jackie Cat. Surfwave. I'll check it out. Okay, so anybody else got recommendations for videos for the weekend? Huh? Let's see. Surfwave. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Where are we at? Let's see. Let's see if this works. I was wondering if this was going to work anyways. Let's see. We got the... Where's it at? Not there. Oh, there we go. Surfwave. Okay, so I'm going to try and play this and see if you guys... Does it have copyrighted music in it? Maybe I better not play it until I listen to it. The copyrighted music? Alright, that's enough of that. My mic's still on. Okay, here we go. Back to this. That is a good video. I do like it. So, thanks for the recommendation there, Jackie Cat. That was fun pulling that up out of nowhere. Could you guys hear it okay? Did it sound okay? What did it sound like? Would it sound okay? Because I am, I'm not sure how the sound was going to come through. I think it had to come through on the microphone on that one, so I like having fun. You know, I lived with surfers in Maui, and that was pretty much all they cared about was the waves, man. They liked having fun. Got to go catch those waves. There's waves. It's because there was not always waves in Maui, and when there was waves, that was like all that mattered. So, okay, so I was like looking at my stuff, you know, and I was looking at yesterday's show, and it says this video has been age restricted by you. I was like, what the fuck? And I'm looking at it, it says a marijuana, Major League Baseball, marijuana, right? And I'm like, oh man, did they restrict the age because Major League Baseball removes the marijuana ban, right? I mean, but I don't think that's what happened. I think something else happened. So we're not going to worry about that anymore. But so I took the age restriction off since I could. Although I hate to do that because then it's like, oh, first he thought it should be age restricted. Now he's like, oh no, we don't want to do that. Yeah, you know, we better look closer at this, and I don't want him looking closer at my shit. I hate people looking at my shit. Speaking of which, I have a video coming up in just a few minutes of a guy shitting right in the middle of a sidewalk. Out in front of a posh fucking restaurant in downtown Seattle. In case you're waiting to see that, that'll be coming up in a few minutes. Because I can. We'll see if that gets us age restricted. Let's see. I like surfing. Let's see. So we have that, and I haven't had a bong hit since this morning, because I just don't need one. I just don't need one, so I'm not having one. Okay. Hey, Brady. I'm worried about Pete. I would have expected Pete to call by now. You guys think Pete's okay? You don't think he OD'd on his coconut oil, do you? Hey, Michael, did you put the coconut oil on your feet? No public pooping. Are you sure you don't want to see the public pooping? I mean, I think it's kind of important. Otherwise, I wouldn't show it to you. That does not answer my question about putting the coconut oil on your feet now, does it? Oh, yeah. I'm eating pizza. Are you trying to make me jealous? I ask people to kick down for pizza all the time. And you're like, oh, I'm eating pizza. You trying to make me jealous? Is that what you're doing? Huh? Huh? Lucky. I've been thinking about eating pizza today all day. I don't know what it is about Friday. Friday just makes you think, oh, pizza sounds good. But, of course, it's America, so pizza always sounds good, right? What did Jackie Cat say? Well, you know, it would be nice if someone called. But the yelling is optional. All right, the phone is working. You know, I'm not, it doesn't matter. I mean, it was a little bit rough yesterday, Jackie Cat, I will admit. But you know what? It got us like 4 subscribers on the Twitch, and that never happens. We usually get 1 subscriber on the Twitch, and we got 4, so that was good. I guess, right? That says something. We did something right. Michael, I thought you were eating pizza. Hello, caller.
Hello.
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 How are you, caller?
Did you put coconut oil on your feet?
No, I fell asleep and had a busy day. Now I'm eating pizza.
Oh, you're trying to make me jealous. I know you are. You're just fucking with me now, man.
Domino's special.
Oh.
$7.99 for a 3-topping large.
Oh, do you ever eat their pan pizza? I love their pan pizza.
Is that like thick crust?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like thick crust, but some people think they're pizza aficionados, and they say, "Oh no, only New York pizza with the thin crust is good." It's like, what the fuck is that, man? It's like,
well, the thin crust New York pizza is hard to beat, but there's all kinds of good pizzas, man.
Yeah. So there's a good video that I popped on your Facebook page because I'm popping all kinds of shit up there that you could take an interest in if you bothered to look. And it's that UPS driver that got shot in that fucking shootout last week.
Uh-huh.
His father was talking about how the cops fucked up. That's a good video since it's a current event, and you already covered it, you know.
And since that's exactly what I said too.
You saw it, right?
No, I didn't see the video. But I mean, that's exactly what I said, was that the fucking cops fucked up. That's not the way you handle. Again, look, I know it's a hard job. I get that. But you got somebody contained who's fucking ready to fire a bunch of bullets. You don't fucking encourage them to fire a bunch of bullets. Okay? You fucking just hold your position.
Yeah, that was his position. That was his sentiment too. But I'll tell you, there's something wrong with that guy. The father of that UPS driver, his son just got shot.
Yeah.
And he's being really politically correct. He's almost apologizing for calling it murder, right? It's like, I don't mean to use strong language, but... And if my son had just got shot in a shootout like that, that's obviously fucked up because of the police endangered the lives of civilians, so it's fucked up. I wouldn't be politically correct. I wouldn't be couching my language in soft words, and it's like, he's talking about his son like, well, he was an honorable man and this and that. And it's like, dude, that's, you're not... How can you be a father and you get over you're not even emotional about the fact that your son got butchered in a bad situation a few days prior, and you're like all composed and all proper and all politically correct, and it's like, I don't know, man, the shit like that happens in my life. That's when I spout off the most. When I see...
Yeah, but I mean, really and truly, if you were the dad of the son who just died in this horrible event, the first thing you do is just cry and cry and cry. So that's probably what he's been doing for days, right? And then he might be a soft-spoken guy in the first place, which is the only kind of person that would ever apologize for saying something, saying that there's speaking out or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just, it sounds like, you got to cut people slack. And I mean, but I always wonder about that too. I always think like the last thing that I would ever want to do is get in front of the fucking media if I was in that situation. I always look at the media like they're ghouls, trying to get those people to talk. Yeah.
Yeah, the media, the more drama the media can catch on film, the better it is for them. They like the crying mommies and but it's also, it's a tricky little dance you got to do with the media. It's also an opportunity to speak the truth and get it out there, So I think this guy fell short of the mark. He had the opportunity to speak a very powerful truth. And just the fact that he spoke out about this, I don't know, 1 or 2 days ago, you haven't seen it yet, and so have not millions of other people. If he would have spoke out in a strong way, it would have made the mainstream news. Father of UPS driver speaks out in a strong way. News at 11,
Maybe.
No, every time you get somebody speaking out in a strong way, like let's take, for example, a completely different situation. Ilhan Omar, right? That Muslim, whatever she is from wherever the fuck she's representing. She's a congresswoman.
Yeah.
If she spoke out in a fairly strong way about, some type of Palestinian issue, Palestinian injustice or something, or AIPAC. I think she spoke against AIPAC is what it was.
Uh-huh.
And it made the news for weeks.
Well, that's because that was this thing where they could paint her as a hater.
Right.
That's why that was the news, okay? It's not because it was because someone spoke out boldly about Palestine. Come on, dude.
My point is that you're on YouTube right now and 5 nights a week, and when it comes to something that you feel is a tragedy or a crime or should be spoken about, you don't even hesitate to speak in a very strong way. You're not a politically correct person, even though I think you're a very highly moral person. You do defend the downtrodden and the underdog, just like I do. Sometimes I go a little over the top on people that live in Canada, but basically we're both in favor of the underdog, and neither one of us is going to back down from speaking the truth, including using cuss words. Okay, so that's all I'm encouraging people to do. If your son just got shot, say, "What the fuck were the police thinking?" That's a nice thing to say.
The thing is, okay, and that's what I say. I mean, maybe maybe this guy isn't that kind of person, right? And one of the things is that I know if you were talking like that, you turn off a lot of people too. Like if you're like, what the fuck is wrong with the police? Which is what my job is. That's what I do. Because I'm calling. I mean, this guy's son just died. You gotta cut him some slack, man. I mean, I understand. Again, this is what I this thing where the media gets these people in front of the camera. I mean, I don't know if there was like a big media circus going on there, if it was just a sit down interview or what, but it just always seems so unfair to those people who, like I said, had probably just done nothing but cry for the last 5 days or whatever.
Right. There is something to be said of never going on film unless you're of a really contained composure, like not crying and sobbing, but have a decent composure. Don't be all dramatic and everything.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he just not might. He just. I mean, like you said, he apologized for the language that he was using and that he was being soft-spoken to start with. So maybe he's just this really soft-spoken guy. You know how Canadians apologize for everything?
Hey.
Right. So I'm just saying, maybe, and again, and he's just, my guess is not sleeping and just no energy. I mean, no crying like that, just, wailing and just hurting so badly, just takes it out of you completely.
My compassion for the father and the family has not diminished.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm actively encouraging all the listeners to, when you have an opportunity to speak powerfully in a righteous way to authority or the news media, and you have just cause to do so, do it. Don't hold back. Do it. You can still speak strongly and eliminate cuss words. Right now, you and me, we're on a medium.
And that's one of the things that happens too. Is that the cuss words will immediately shut down the media a lot of the time. So you start.
They got the bleeper machine. They can bleep out the word fuck, shit, damn, goddamn it.
I know.
But I don't know. It just. Man, I would just be more heartbroken than I saw that father. Even though it's been what? When did that happen? Last Friday or last Saturday?
It had to have been Friday. It must have been Friday.
Maybe.
It must have been Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday, yeah. So it's been 8 days, okay? And that's a 2-day-old video, I'm pretty sure. So it was 6 days after the fact for the father. He had nice composure. But, man, I just want people to be real human beings and really say what they feel.
Well, I'm really glad. I mean, it sounds like he made the point that he thought the police were, what they did was, I mean, look, that's exactly why I showed that video. You understand? The police had this contained, and instead of fucking opening fire, shooting again, it looked like there was 100 bullet holes in that UPS van to me. Okay, so instead of opening fire with all these, and not just that, in that video that I showed, they were taking cover behind the fucking innocent civilians. The cops that were fucking going to be shooting at these people were taking cover behind innocent civilians' cars, and that's just fucking insanity, dude.
And one of them died. One of them died.
Yeah.
So, some innocent woman, I think, got killed because the cops were hiding behind her car. Basically, that's what happened.
Yeah, it was disgusting. And again, this is this thing where once you have this thing contained, there's no reason to push it. Like Dwayne brought up this guy that got killed a couple of years ago on this bus in Toronto, I think, right? And he was having some kind of bad trip, and he was fucking waving a knife around. But they got everybody off the bus and had the kid contained on the bus, right? All they had to do was just sit and wait. But no, they had to go out onto the bus and fucking act like be all threatening to the kid, and then they fucking just opened fire on him. Shot him and killed him. It just and it just doesn't make any sense when that's not necessary. It's like it looks to me the reason they do that is because they can.
Well, that's why I got worried the other day about that potential wellness check. I was worried.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck, man? You can never tell. One bad cop in a group of cops can fuck the whole situation up, and one reasonable cop can calm the whole situation down. Like, remember that guy in the My Lai massacre? He landed his helicopter in between the civilians getting butchered in Vietnam and the army guys that were butchering. He actually landed his helicopter in between the slaughter, and he stopped the My Lai massacre.
Wow.
That guy was a sane guy who acted in a radical way, landing your helicopter in between friendly fire, gunfire from your own side to protect civilians. I mean, so good cops can do just as much or almost as much good as bad cops can do damage, So, but the whole police tactic thing has to be re-examined because there's just not enough training, I think, for those situations. And I heard Drunk Pete arguing with you, I guess it was maybe yesterday. I don't know. Maybe
yesterday, last night.
About the Jewish deli situation, and he was real strong on, well, they were in a life and death situation, but, I told you this before, the devil's in the details, and the details of that particular situation was, you see the video of the one Jewish guy running out of the store, and you hear him say on the video, I pushed the gunman's hand away from me, and I ran out the store, and then they started killing everybody else. So nobody in that Jewish deli was killed by cops. They were killed by those two people. And the cops, I'm gotta side with Pete on this. The cops, they didn't endanger 30,000 school kids. They were just returning fire from automatic weapons coming out of the deli, and the people were already dead. That's basically what happened. So you take every situation, the details, and because not every situation is the same. They completely fucked up on the UPS thing.
You can't fire that many bullets. It's just completely unnecessary. Okay? If you care about the civilians, if you're actually trying to protect them by firing hundreds and hundreds of bullets around them, you are doing the opposite.
Well, I'm going to respectfully disagree with you on that incident, Michael, because they'd already killed the people in the store, one of them which escaped, and you can see him escaping on video.
Right, and I guarantee you so many of those bullets traveled so much further than that store.
Maybe just through the back wall of the store. That's about it, dude. They were firing into the store and nowhere else.
Oh, okay.
So, and that's quite a bit different in a situational perspective from being on a busy 8-lane street or whatever it was, hiding behind traffic and firing into a UPS truck, which was totally out of whack with anything sane. You know, they should have backed the fuck off in that situation and not fired their guns at all. But you know, it's hard to be a cop. It's hard to be a civilian dealing with a cop. Life itself is difficult for everybody who's living in a body, and I just look at the details and I try to pick up, you know, what's really going on. You know, not just in shootouts, but also in political situations. You know, so it's pretty tricky to see. What do we probably see 100 or 150 stories every week, depending on who we are. But you and me, we probably see 100 stories every week, and we're trying to figure out, well, what's the subtext of that story? What's really going on? Or why did Jeremy Corbyn really lose? You know, we're trying to figure shit out, usually from a distance. It's not shit happening on our block. So yeah, it's pretty tricky. I mean, I don't mean to disagree with you, Mike, but I'd be dishonest with myself if I didn't say, hey, I think...
well, no, you do. You brought it up, and you want to tell me that, you know, you think that that's incorrect, which is fine. You're totally entitled to that opinion, but don't, you know, say you don't want to disagree with me, because you do. You brought it up. And the thing is again, I'm telling you, I see this happen over and over and over again in residential neighborhoods, which is what that was, where they're fucking firing way too many bullets. Okay, and again, you can talk about how, you know, this person is dangerous, and, you know, that's scary, and they have fear too, and whatever. You know, I'm telling you, there has to be limits, and that was over the limit, in my opinion. What was done in New Jersey, way over the limit.
Yeah, well, I suppose we would have both have to have more information on the ground, or just to be there to actually make a real definitive determination on, you know, what's actually right. But we both agree that the cops are out of control in the U.S. and everywhere on planet Earth. If we start from that basic premise, we're correct, both of us, and it's not our imaginations either. We can back up that premise, you know. But what was I going to say? You know, it's. I think the one situation was more egregious than the other. I think we can.
Well, yeah, the cops are hiding behind innocent civilians. I mean, that is unbelievable. You know, but again, I've seen, like, you're from Southern California, so you must remember that story that I was talking about, where the cops were chasing this guy, like, down Santa Monica Boulevard or something.
They shot two women, and they shot two women in a truck that looked like they thought was his. Then he went up to Big Bear and he hid in a cabin in the snow, and they blew the cabin up, right?
No, you're talking about that's Chris Dorner, right?
Yeah, okay.
No, I'm talking about in Southern California just a few months ago. The cops were chasing some guy, like, down Santa Monica Boulevard, and he fucking and I don't know if the car stopped or it got blocked or whatever. So he ran into a store, and the cops shot into the fucking store, and there was and it's a Sunday afternoon in a fucking, you know, a nice busy neighborhood, and they're shooting just fucking bullets into the store, and they killed the manager of the store and another person, I'm sure, and it was really fucked up. And this is what I'm saying is look, you have to go, okay, there's too many civilians here for us to fire hundreds and hundreds of bullets. Okay, if the people are coming out and they're trying to get away or whatever, then, you know, you fire how many bullets it takes to get them down. But I've never seen it take hundreds and hundreds of bullets to take somebody down.
Well, you know what? They've developed a whole rhetoric and a whole fake psychology. Well, I was in fear for my life, you know, from this little poodle. I was in fear for my life, you know.
Yeah, so that's the first thing they always say.
Yeah, they got that fucking excuse anytime. And another cop, I missed the story you just told me about. I never was aware of that.
Yeah, but, I posted video, a lot of videos, like 3 or 4 or 5 videos about it at least.
But you're dealing with rookies. You're dealing with people on steroids.
Right, adrenaline junkies that are fucking, their brains are Swiss cheesed out on fucking steroids.
Bullies who got picked on in high school, now they're wearing a badge and a gun.
Who were bullies in high school and have the fucking low mentality that goes along with the bullies. That's why they are able to pass the IQ test, which says that cops can't have more than a certain amount of IQ.
True. Yeah. Every police department, it's already been through the Supreme Court, or in one state. I don't think the United States Supreme Court, but at least in one state has already went to that jurisdiction, or it might be the actual U.S. Supreme Court, where police departments have the right to not hire a person whose IQ is too high.
Fucking unbelievable, man.
Yeah, it's like,
do you think that people who have higher IQ have higher morality? Is that the reason, or?
Generally, that is the truth, that people with a higher IQ are able to figure out complex moral and logistic situations better than other people with a lower IQ. That's generally true, yeah.
So that's what they're looking for, is just lower morality overall, not just, just not sharp overall, but on top of it, they want the lower morality also.
A person with a higher IQ would probably be more inclined to cross that thin blue line that everybody talks about. You know that line?
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Yeah. The wall. It's not a line, it's a fucking wall, man.
Right. Yeah, that would endanger whatever police department he's in if he actually took his balls in his hands and stepped up and said, I can't go with this party line. I can't go with this, my captain fucked up, that would endanger the police department. And you know what? It's not the cops that are paying all the money out for all these lawsuits. It's the cities. So the cops don't have a fund to pay legal decisions in favor of the plaintiffs. The city covers the police department's ass in a financial way. I think that's why mayors can come in and fire the police captains, because they're the ones footing the bill. So a cop with a high IQ would be more likely to tell the truth in a situation that implicated legally his police department, and that's why those smart cops don't get hired. It's because they want you.
If you're more likely to tell the truth in any kind of situation, that's not the cops that they want. Certainly,
they want soldiers.
They want professional liars who say whatever it takes to fucking convict someone.
Yeah, and I'm not. I'm just as shocked at all the police atrocities that we've all seen for decades and decades, but I'm not necessarily anti-cop. I like cops. They, as long as they're not fucking, they don't try to intimidate me, because I'll stand right the fuck up to them.
I like people. Okay, and again, I grew up around cops, and that's the thing is, I have the same thing where, it's like you're saying, I've said again and again, when you put a line in the sand, and the first thing I'm gonna do is step across the line, because we have to come to an understanding if we're gonna go anywhere with this relationship. You are not the motherfucking boss of me. Okay? And if you can't get that through your motherfucking head, then this relationship ain't going anywhere anyways, so your little fucking line in the sand don't mean a whole lot to me, does it?
Yeah, this is why I encourage people not to be afraid of cops. You've heard me say it at least twice. It's like, cops prey off of fear. And if they realize after 90 seconds of talking to you, you're not the least bit afraid of them, they're going to go, oh, this guy's okay, he's not, but they're like, there's a predatory thing that psychopaths, it's called hyper stimulation, where when the psychopath or a sociopath has, they've located and targeted their victim, and they realize their victim is afraid. It could be a social situation, it could be just a one-on-one situation. They get hyper stimulated, and unfortunately, cops can do the same thing. They'll get hyperstimulated when they realize somebody's afraid of them, and they'll go in a predatory way for the kill And
they're essentially they're bullies. I mean, and bullies sense some type of weakness, and fear is a sign of weakness. So they're like bullies. They sense weakness, and then they go for the weakness. Immediately as they're like drawn to it, and it's like, they have to crush it or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not. I just.
It's probably some fucking Cro-Magnon survival of the fittest thing, right? I mean, this guy is fucking weak. We fucking take out the weakness, and then the strong survive.
Yeah, well, it's baby psychology. It's animal psychology, and I just always encourage people to rise up above the baby psychology and the animal psychology, and realize there's unspoken subtext going on in every interpersonal relationship you have. Like when you're talking to a chick and I go, well, what's wrong? Nothing. There's lots of subtext right there, man. So, just realize there's a lot of shit going on and rise above the baby psychology. And if you get, I'm not a bully.
Don't eat the babies.
Yeah, don't eat the babies. I'm not a bully, and I never I'm pretty fucking straight up, man. And a lot of people consider me to be a little bit socially inappropriate because I'm friendly,
Uh-huh.
And, both guys and girls. The girls think I'm trying to pick up on them, and the guys think I'm nosy. Hey, what do you do? Hey, your daughter's really beautiful. Hey, these sandwiches are really good here. It's like I'm supposed to stand in line, keep my mouth shut, and be a little robot like you. No, dude, I'm a rock and roller baby. But
yeah, no, I completely understand that. I that's what I do too.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. It's actually enlightened friendliness is what it is.
You know what softens that up a lot is a dog. If you had a dog with you, everybody'd want to talk to you.
Well, but I probably leave my dog at home when I went shopping and shit like that.
Why?
Why?
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Ask me when I get a dog. I'll tell you what I do. But I was.
There is nothing that dog wants more than adventure, and you're his best buddy, and he loves going to the store. And then you make some excuse why he can't go to the fucking store. When people look at you funny, is that what the problem is, Michael?
No. First of all, I would never bring my dog into a large grocery store. Never.
Huh.
I would leave him out in the car where the windows crack down, and I'm pretty much a dog guy. I like dogs, and dogs have great personalities and great souls. And anybody that thinks a dog doesn't have a soul, you're kidding yourself. Just look in their eyes. They got souls, okay?
Uh-huh.
So, it's like friendliness is like abnormal now. To be a friendly guy, outspoken, and joke around with the checker, or I do it. I try to interact with people on a friendly way.
Yeah.
And people are tripping all the time. They're tripping, like, what does he want? What does he want from me? What is he talking about? Is he making fun of me? I make a joke about, like that hardware store. When Occupy Wall Street was going on, the guys that own the hardware store, I was telling them, well, I'm going to teach your employees how to protest, And he looked at me, a guy I've known for 30 years, he looked at me like I was fucking threatening him or something, And it was a joke.
Yeah.
It was a joke. So people are tripping all the time. But
yeah. It's weird, I am a very, very friendly guy, and I talk to everybody, and I say hi to everybody, and I give the neighbors cookies. I take cookies to the girls at the grocery stores. But again, I take the dogs. I take 2 dogs in at the grocery store at one time by myself.
How big is the grocery store? Is it a supermarket or just a little podunk grocery store?
No, it's a big grocery store.
Okay, that's a little unusual. Yeah.
Yeah, but they have a lot. Like they've been going to the store for 10 years, right? They're 11 years old. They've been going to the store for 10 years, And so I was sure we weren't going to pee on things, and I'm like, no shopping. Why are you shopping? Stop shopping. But they're good dogs. They don't shop.
Yeah, I mean, dogs are great, and I wish people could be as friendly as dogs. And usually when you meet a really mean dog, that dog has been abused in some way. And when you meet a mean person, that mean person has been abused at least when they were a child. And this is the main reason why most of the people who come out of penitentiaries come out worse than what they went in. They're I mean, it is not a rehabilitation institution. It's we're going to fuck you up more institution.
No, yeah, no, and that's part of the thing. That's part of the problem that we're having here is there's no. I mean, what we're doing is we're taking all these people who have mental issues, and there's just no service. I mean, that should be the number one thing in prison is let's find out what the real problem is so that you don't have to come back here. Because probably 90% of the reason they're there is, either drugs, which a drug war's got to end, or fucking some kind of mental health issue. One or the other. 90% easily.
Well, yeah, you're right. And they, maybe they committed maybe some people committed some violent crimes, got caught for 1 out of 100 they did. They go to prison, and they suffer immense abuse in prison by both the population and the enforcers, and what happens is a split. Their personality splits, and when they get out, if they're not a real, sometimes when some people get out, the host personality takes over, and the injured person goes to the back. It's an actual personality split. It's not necessarily DID, dissociative identity disorder, but anybody who knows their shit will tell you, yeah, that's kind of what every person with MPD and ASPD has a split in their personality, and the host personality takes over, and that's why they do what they do, because they're afraid. Deep in their souls, they're afraid. So I'm trying to keep my soul free, and I see the same thing in you, Michael. You're really doing a good job of being yourself, keeping yourself free, and not being a fake. I don't think you're a fake at all in any way. And what you do is your style, and it's very natural, and I admire it, man. I admire people that are authentic. I think you're an authentic guy, and I hope everybody else thinks so too, because fuck Lamont, man. Fuck Lamont.
Well, he called to apologize. I think he probably saw something about that was more authentic than he thought too at first,
Yeah, well, I told you the first phone call I ever made to you, I'm kind of a brutal guy, and I don't, I was a fucking bricklayer for decades, so it was a brutal lifestyle, and I probably was born with a big mouth. Astrologically, you were going to be born with a big mouth, so I got a big mouth, okay? But I'm also like a truth seeker, so I'm trying to live the truth and breathe the truth and be the truth, and so I'm on a quest for self, to find out who and what the fuck I really am, and where the fuck am I? Am I supposed to be on this planet? Is it an accident? I don't know, but so I'm a little more brutal than you. But you're setting a good example for me, because you try to be so nice to everybody who calls, whether they're a troll or a friend or a complete stranger. That's a really admirable quality that maybe I'll get better at it. But right now, you got me beat hands down. You're just a more personable person than me, and I'm a little bit more brutal. Yeah. So
I don't know. Look, we're just doing what we do, being ourselves, and I'm just trying to look. We got this rolling, and it's getting a little better. We're getting the clips down now. Like I said, we're going to get clips soon, and then yesterday we got the thing, and and if people are kind enough to call, I don't want to be a dickhole to them,
Yeah, well, you're trying to get something going, and you're doing a good job. And I want to encourage everybody to give a like on the video and share it, because you never know. Somebody will just like tune into Mark's News out of absolutely nowhere and go, "Oh, I can call this number and talk to this guy," and he'll call you up, and he's from Timbuk 7 or Timbuk 3 or someplace, and hi, my name is Habib, and I'm calling from Timbuk 7. Can I talk to the guy with the beard?
Yeah.
And you'll get some perspective from out of the blue, like a blessing from God. So
yeah.
that's what I'm trying to encourage.
And that's the thing. Again, is I make, as long as it's clear that everybody's welcome, and that is the truth. It's not like some kind of ungenuine thing. I mean, everybody's welcome. I've said it again and again. I don't do this for any particular group. I do this for everybody because that's what we need. Is we need everybody. So.
Well, I'm going to continue eating my pizza, and I hope.
Fuck you, Michael.
No, I'll stay here, Mike. I'll stay here.
No, you go ahead. You go eat your pizza.
Oh, yeah, I deserve it, man. This is breakfast for me. I haven't eaten anything but coffee. You know what my breakfast is every day?
I like pizza.
Aspirin and coffee. That's my breakfast, And I'll put some fucking oil on my feet, and I'll give you the feedback.
Yeah, you should add a cookie to your morning.
My oven is on the blink, man. I only pan fry things, and I can make marijuana pancakes.
That'll work. You can make you can do whatever with it. I mean, Craig uses coconut oil on a bunch of stuff. So.
Yeah, well, okay.
I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying. It's. I would. You do what you want to do. I tell everybody you got to eat the marijuana. Eat. Don't eat the babies. Eat the marijuana.
And speak out. Yeah, that's my main message. Speak out.
Don't eat the babies.
You're not sheep. Speak out. Speak truth to power. Okay, I'll see you later, baby.
All right, thanks for calling.
Bye.
And enjoy your pizza. Just in case anybody wants a kick down for pizza for Moxie, there's clickable links in the description box, and I'm putting links in the chat room too. So, what's up, caller?
Hey, how are you?
Who is this? Who is this?
This is Greg.
Hey, Greg. I am good. How are you?
I'm doing good. That caller. Oh my God, that guy can talk.
Got to get one now?
I said that last caller. That guy can talk, man. Jeez.
Oh, he can talk. He was cutting it short tonight.
He brought up some good points though about dogs having souls.
He's a smart guy.
No, it's totally true. And he's talking about how, like, I saw The Guardian publish a piece about cops who did a lot of, wrongdoing, police brutality and stuff, and they pulled them all. Then they said that 90% of them never owned dogs, which it kind of makes me think,
It's an interesting study. I never heard of that. I always think it's strange when somebody doesn't like a dog. It's always like, it's. I mean, I understand some people have bad experiences, but it's always, to act like, somehow the most unconditional love on the face of the planet is like, oh my God, get it away from me. You know what I mean? It's like, it's really weird, man.
I was thinking the other day, I was thinking, like, they have all these programs where they got to place, like, people fresh out of jail in jobs.
Yeah.
And I was thinking make like a non-for-profit where they place dogs with people out of jail. And I was trying to think of like a good name for it. You got any ideas?
No, but that's a great idea, because I mean, I always say, my roommate's dog, Rufus, he's like by my side day and night. I mean, like right now, he's right there laying next to me, So, and
right.
Yeah, and I always say, that it's like he's like a husky. Let's see, where's Rufus at? Here we go. He's a black lab husky mix. Here, this is Rufus.
Cheeseburger birthday.
Eating double cheeseburgers.
Who's my beautiful baby?
There he is. That's Rufus right there.
Who's my beautiful baby? Give me a kiss.
So,
can you sit?
Nice.
You roll over?
Oh my God.
Can you roll over?
Yeah, and that's his sister from the same litter. That's Sammy.
Roll over. Down.
Oh,
down,
wow.
Down, roll over. Oh, what the
So, and they just turned 11. That was their birthday. They turned 11.
Little bites.
Oh,
little
man.
Bites.
That's smart.
Little bites.
Yeah, they're really good dogs.
Oh, cheeseburgers.
Like I said, they go to the grocery store and all that stuff all the time. Everybody knows them.
I'll tell you what, if I had a dog like that waiting for me when I got out of the slammer, I wouldn't have gone back in.
Well, that's what I always, and again, that's what I would always say is that the dog Rufus is my therapy dog, right? He helps me reprioritize everything because if someone asks, oh, is that like a whatever, helping dog, and I was like, yeah, he's my therapy dog, and so, oh, really? What how is he like your therapy dog? I'm like, you see all these people in here? I say, if I was to kill all these people, that would be bad for Rufus. So I don't kill all these people.
Hey, because if you killed all those people,
that would be bad for Rufus, man. And I don't want bad things for Rufus. I got to take care of Rufus. I'm Rufus's protector. And if I can't protect him, then who will?
If you killed all those people, then, like, Rufus would be a murderer through, like, guilt by association. And then all the other dogs wouldn't want it, right?
I don't know about him. He's like he doesn't know anything like that. He thinks everybody is his friend. He wouldn't understand at all. So I don't think he would be guilty. But people might look at him like guilty through association. But they wouldn't know him. So
yeah, they don't know all that stuff. Like, bestiality doesn't even register with them. Like, they don't think that there's, like, people out there that want to do sex on them.
Uh-huh. Well, anyways, thanks for calling. What?
Wanted to take this call.
Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hello.
Michael, how are you?
I am good. Who is this?
This is Joe.
Hey, Joe, it's good to hear from you. Thanks for calling.
Yes, sir. How are you tonight?
I'm pretty good, man. How about you? It's Friday.
Halfway to fucked up. It's Friday.
You looking forward to a weekend? Or you got to go back to work tomorrow?
I do have to go back to work tomorrow, but I just got my new foot massager in the mail today.
Nice.
Yeah, it's very nice. But I wanted to ask you about now probably going off topic here for the evening, but the impeachment hearing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts as far as, what they're doing with articles of impeachment?
I think that the Democrats are really screwing up. I think that for whatever, I think this looks, really bad, and that I think that Donald Trump has done impeachable things. I said this the other day, but what they're talking about is questionable. Not that it's probably not impeachable, but I mean, it's one of those things where you don't push it to the limit to, try and get whoever they can impeached on the most petty things. It's one of those things where you bring it up so rarely. It's only happened 3 times, in the history of the United States. And so it seems like they are kind of out of line. But I think also at the same time, and it really bothers me what the Democrats. I think they just look fucking like horrible. I think they look, because they're all talking about like how brave they are, how courageous they are to fucking stand up and do what has to be done. You know, like they're going in to fight a war or something. You know, they just look like they're all patting themselves on the back, and you know, I really find it. I don't think it's going to play well for them. I knew that they were desperate, but this seems like this is really going to hurt them a lot worse to me.
Yeah, I think the tactic of the Democrats at this point is going to backfire on them in horrible fashion.
Yeah.
And with with them, like you said, the whole, we're solemn. We do this with a heavy heart. It's
we don't want to do this. This is the last thing that we want to do, but we have to because George W. Bush has lied us into a war which is going to cost 1 million people their lives, and they were innocent people, and we can't allow that to stain American history without somehow fighting back. You know.
Correct.
Yeah.
This whole and that's the other thing too, the whole partisan thing. Like people now who are on the left are now siding with George W. Bush. His policies.
Yeah.
And it's like, where the hell are you coming from? You know this a lot of this started with W.
With what? With what? Started with what? With Russia?
I'm sorry, man. I've been drinking. Bear with me.
Okay.
It's Friday night. I'm halfway into probably 3/4 of the way into a drunk now. But
well, more power to you, my brother.
Yes, sir. But regardless, George W. Bush, a lot of the people who were, in 2001 siding with him are now, or I'm sorry, not siding with him, but are now siding with him. And it's like, well, where the hell were you, 2 decades ago?
Well, they didn't really stand up against him either, I mean, because there was people who wanted to impeach George W. Bush, and they could not get anywhere close to a movement started in Congress. And there was people who wanted to, who wanted to hold him accountable for the lies, who wanted to investigate the lies, and it wasn't. See, the problem is these people that are, the leadership in the Democrats are just as guilty of George Bush's lies as George Bush, because they were there. They were there, and they could have stopped it by trying to hold him accountable, and they didn't do anything, and anything at all. So it's which was their job, and George Bush did all these horrible things besides the wars. I mean, they started the Patriot Act and the fucking the spying and all of that. So I mean, not that the spying started with George W. Bush, but I think they made it so that, all Americans were like potential enemy combatants, so they could begin the process of spying on all Americans,
Yes, and I think the biggest problem, too, is that they're trying to impeach the current president for doing so much less than they could have done to any other president prior.
Yeah.
I mean, Trump isn't being accused, and I'm not a defender of Trump. I'm just going to say this outright right now. But I'm saying that he's being impeached for charges that are way minor to any prior presidency up until this point, and with crazy fervor on top of it.
Yeah.
I
don't mean to laugh. I don't mean to laugh, but I mean, it's just because it's funny because you hit it spot on right there. I mean, all the the Obama with fucking drone strike, the 16-year-old kid from Colorado.
The Bush doctrine.
Yeah. Yeah, Obama. And that's how the Democrats are complicit, and that's why there's no more of the Democrats like Kucinich anymore, because Obama drove them all away. Because Obama said, no, this is who the Democrats are now, which is pro-military industrial complex, pro-war, no need to fucking get an approval from Congress to start a war in Libya, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
but you talk about Dennis Kucinich or even Ron Paul or Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard is she's a staunch opponent for all these counterinsurgency wars, and I like Tulsi on that element of her policy. But other than that, I don't much care for anything else. But
well, she said she wants to end the drug war, legalize marijuana immediately. She wants.
No, I'm fine with that too.
Yeah, but she also said she wants to pardon Julian Assange of any crimes in that wanted in America, the United States, and Edward Snowden. She wants to pardon both.
Any reasonable person would say that.
Well, not Donald Trump, not Donald Trump.
I know.
Not Bernie Sanders, not Elizabeth Warren.
No, no, I'm not a hardliner for Donald Trump. Yeah. I'll give him due credit when it's due, and I will, criticize him when it's necessary. And as far as whistleblowers go in journalism, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that. I haven't heard anyone else say that they would pardon Edward Snowden or Julian Assange, if they became president. I have not heard any of them say that. So, except for Tulsi Gabbard, I heard her say that. So.
Okay. Well, I haven't heard her say that, but I support her in that.
Oh, I have it as a video here on my page, so I'll find it for you.
Yeah, please. I'll look it up.
What's that?
I said I'll look it up.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. All right, Michael.
Hey, man. Thanks a lot for calling. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for hosting the show that allows us to call you when we get fucked up on Fridays.
Well, you call any day of the week that you're fucked up, okay?
All right, brother.
Because it's always better when you're here, man.
All right, man.
All right, thanks for calling.
Yeah, take care.
See ya. Did I get that right? I think I got that right. Hold on. I'm pulling up Tulsi Gabbard and Julian Assange video. I know it's in here somewhere. Oh, what the fuck is this? I hate this so much. Oh, look. Who this is?
Oh.
Who is this, Chris?
It's Chris, Mox. How are you doing?
I'm good, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing great. And I'm appreciating some of these comments, like Wilco's comment that the two political parties are two wings of the same vulture. That's an excellent statement, Wilco. Good call. Yeah, I'm not fucked up, and I'm not drinking, but I'm in a good mood. All said and done, we had one of those sun breaks. I don't know if it was sunny up in Seattle, but
I didn't see any sun.
It was sunny. It was sunny here. In the last 4 days, it just has been, or 3 days, it's just been rain. So I had a chance to go out and do some yard work. It felt great. So it was really positive.
Nice. Well, we went for an hour-long walk, and that's always good.
Yeah. I respect people's right. I mean, I don't dislike people who have GOGs per se, but I do have problems with them. Part of it has to do with resources, I think, Mox, because just the amount of food and money and disposal of waste, the basic things for having another creature in the world. That's one reason why I'm kind of sketchy about it. And then also, it disrupts wildlife. Like if you ever take a dog on a walking trail, like in the woods, you're going to scare all of the birds away, most of the mammals away, and you're going to disrupt some of the people who go to the woods for solitude as well. The woods are a quiet place. So that's a second reason why. And a third reason is I think that it's kind of dangerous to imagine that an animal is like a human being. And I think that using pets for therapy, like you're describing, may give you some satisfaction, but at the end of the day, it's like supplanting the need to interact with other people by becoming overly dependent, maybe on an animal.
Well,
third reason.
The thing is that as the caller was saying, if you give them to people who just got out of jail, that makes it so, and the person becomes like, oh, this is my purpose. I'm this little baby's protector. Without me protecting this little baby, who knows what's going to happen to it? And then that motivates them to stay out of jail, right?
Okay. I hear you there. Glenn Greenwald, the journalist in Brazil, him and his partner have set up a foundation that allows homeless people in Brazil, on the streets of Brazil, to integrate their shelters with dogs. So when they bring people into the shelters, they give them a dog and they have them take care of the dogs at the shelter to redevelop bonds with other creatures, to know that they can love an animal and receive love in exchange. I still don't really know if it's a great idea. I mean, just from the perspective of, I definitely believe people are able to work through those things. And if they just find something that makes them happy in the interim period, they might not be working through all of the things they need to work through. I mean, it's just a point of view. I'm not saying it doesn't work.
It's not just something that makes you happy. It's something that is dependent on you. They do this with soldiers that are suffering from post-traumatic stress. Also, they give them. They found that birds, exotic birds that live a long time, a lot of times they'll lose. People won't be able to take care of them, so they'll wind up, and the birds get really stressed out, and they start pulling all their feathers out and stuff. So the birds are very kind of neurotic. So kind of like how the soldiers are neurotic, and that when so the soldiers are able to find something that's more important than their own pain to fight through it in order to help something smaller that needs their help to get better too. So and in doing so they actually heal themselves. Because that's what they need. What they need to learn how to do, is to find some way to get beyond the pain.
From a personal perspective, it's a little ironic that I don't really like dogs. I don't like pets, period, because I'm really into this concept of decreasing the amount of people and decreasing the impact that human beings have on the planet. Kind of like the whole obsession with global warming and with carbon in the atmosphere. There are so many ways that we contribute to consumption and additional economic growth that contributes to the environmental destruction. And I think, pets are a part of that, where man has domination over nature instead of just being in nature. Like, I recall staying on an Indian reservation as a guest for 30 days as an activist on the Navajo reservation. And they were very interesting. They had dogs that worked with the sheep. So I would go out in the desert with sheep and watch sheep in the desert while they did their political activities. I was like a volunteer. But the dogs did not have names. They didn't have names. And they slept outside in the shed with the sheep. Period. That was their role. Although the old grandmothers, like the 85-year-old Navajo ladies, they did allow cats in their house, but not dogs.
I don't look. Dogs and humans have made this bond, right? And I myself wouldn't have a dog were it not for Craig. Okay, when I don't know if you've seen the pictures of Rufus when he's like this big. I can hold him in my hands, and he came to the house, right? Okay, he brought him home, and he's like this perfect little fluff ball. And Craig says, and he's like, yip 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 yip, right? And Craig's like, so what do you think? Should we keep him? Should we keep him?
He said, "Where's a bucket of water?" Right?
He said, "Should we keep him?" And I said, "No." Because it's just look, it's not. I wouldn't have a dog if it wasn't that Craig wanted to have a dog. So
there's another point about the lovey-doveyness of it, okay? And you already know this. Craig knows this. Everybody knows this, and that is when you become attached to something. This is like old Buddhist thought, right? When you become attached to something and that thing disappears, that's when you experience suffering. So when you invest like 10 years of your emotional energy into this thing, right, and then it gets sick, and inevitably do, and it dies, you feel the pain, you know? So it isn't all pleasure. It's also about feeling pain when another creature suffers.
The thing is that it's not the pain that you're talking about, right? Is something. It doesn't take. You don't have to invest 10 years to feel that pain, okay? Because Rufus, when he was 6 months old, got hit by a car right in front of the house. A giant SUV. He headbutted the front bumper, and then he went under the front tire, and then he went under the back tire. And he was in the hospital.
Happened to my dog when I was 4.
Yeah, yep. And he was in the hospital for 10 days. And the doctor said, I don't know if he's going to make it or not. You know? So he was fucked. And it was, you know, and that was when he was 6 months old, and it was really, really dramatic and really, really powerful.
Yeah, and what I'm saying, roller coaster.
And what I'm saying is that this is what anything that you get attached to, anything. And again, and when I say I didn't, you know, I really, really wanted to have a dog. Okay, I really did. And then, you know, when I broke up with my last girlfriend, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get a dog. And then I was like,
I understand that.
And then I was like, but first I'm gonna get a practice dog. So I got a stuffed animal, right? And I carried it with me everywhere because at that time I was just a man about town, going from one party to the next. I was not doing anything more than that.
You bring your stuffed animal with you.
And I would bring my stuffed animal whichever party it was I was going to, and we get there and we'd be like, and we start partying and we'd be partying, and then I'd be like, where's my dog? And it would totally fucking harsh my buzz. Right? And it'd be just like, the dog's off with some girl, you know? So I go find the dog and I'd be like, okay, everything's fine. But I realized that, you know, this is what's going to happen over and over again.
Yeah, they do it in schools when they give dolls to girls.
You know, this is what's going to happen over and over again. Right. And I work, you know, and I have this. I love my buzz, and it's like, oh my god, and my buzz gets all fucked up, and I'm like, god damn it, you know, and you're stomping around, and I was like, fuck that, I don't want a dog. So, but I got Rufus, and Rufus is
But you ended up getting a dog. So I'm just saying, from my perspective, I have like a lot of reasons why. I mean, I personally don't like dogs. And I don't think it's outrageous that people don't like dogs or don't like pets. I've lived with many dogs, many housemates who've had dogs. I've been exposed to dogs my entire life. But just in the last 10 years, I've really thought about just the amount of resources this country uses and how resources are not equitably distributed. Like, I often, in, you know, kind of more affluent parts of my city, see people bring their dogs into delis, bring their dogs everywhere they go. They're just like, they're constantly with them. And the dogs receive more attention than the people who are, you know, just in front of them, that are visible to them. So the dogs are kind of like a screen that prevent the people from seeing what's really there because they're just obsessed with the thing that's directly in front of them. Not as bad as an iPhone per se or a cell phone, but similar form of narcissism.
Yeah, I look around. I mean, I'm always like, oh, what's that up there and what's that over there? You know, that's part of why I one of the things I think people are missing out on with the cell phone is they don't actually look around. You know, but I'm always But I don't pay that close attention to the dogs unless there's a lot of cars or something.
As a landscaper, as a person who works outdoors in my community, different places in my community, I always in my mind associate dog watchers with neighborhood watch. Just goes right in my head. Like, ding, neighborhood watch is here. And that's kind of interesting, that association between elderly people who walk around in circles with their dogs and monitoring a neighborhood. Huh. I mean, often they're friendly, but sometimes there's kind of an authoritarian, you know, getting into other people's business aspect to it that I don't like.
Huh.
Dog watchers and neighborhood watch, something I notice really clearly. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I haven't noticed that in the people in my neighborhood who walk their dogs, because I talk to as many of them as I can again, and they don't seem authoritarian. They really don't. I don't get that. But maybe those ones are the ones that don't talk to me.
Despite my feelings about dogs, I told you I was raised in Illinois, and I was born in central Illinois, less than 150 miles away from where I was born. There were the oldest dog remains in North America were found as a grave, and that was 10,000 years ago along the Illinois River in Coster, Illinois. 10,000 years ago, a group of hunter-gatherers carefully laid a dog pup to rest in its own grave among their human dead, curled on its side as if it were asleep. So there you go. They have a burial, so that would be 8,000 BC.
Like I said, dogs and humans have made a special bond long, long ago, and it's obviously mutually beneficial.
Yeah, it is. So anyway, that was about dogs, but I want to get back to cops real quick, because cops were what you were talking about earlier. And there were 2 or 3 videos. I don't know if you can show them later, but I can give you a link to them. One was the website about photography and cops. And what was the website called? It's called PINAC, which is a group of people who believes that you should be able to photograph the cops. And the story is Texas cops arrest woman for holding sign on sidewalk saying "fuck the police."
Oh wow!
And it's really short. I think it's only 1:40, the video, and it shows some police arresting this woman holding the sign in front of their police department that says "fuck the police." But the reason she was doing that was in solidarity with a couple of other people who had been arrested for photographing the police, and also who had been abused, physically abused by the police. And it was in protest of Leon Valley Police Chief Joe Salvaggio. This is a brief excerpt from that to give you an idea of what's going on. And this is in Texas. So and there's another. Anyway, so there's a couple of videos in that story. The first video is really short; it's only like 1:40 long. And then there's another video. It's a little longer, but you'd have to scan through it probably. And it's showing how the police and the city council in this police department in Texas, Leon Valley, how they treat people in their lobby, how they treat people who have cameras outside of their building, and how aggressive they are, and that's the thing that stood out for me with this particular set of videos, is how aggressive the city council and the police department is in just being authoritarian in the way they approach people. Really obnoxious. This is the quote. It says, "Fast forward to December, and Berg decided to hold up a sign that said, 'Fuck Joe' and the Leon Valley Police in front of the Leon Valley Police Department. Berg, who was not part of a pending lawsuit, said her beef with the department was over a recent news story about Leon Valley Police Chief Joe Salvaggio threatening to shut down a storage facility for allowing bands to rehearse there, even though nobody was complaining. I wasn't happy about that, so I said, I'm going to protest how I felt," she said in a telephone interview with Photography is Not a Crime, explaining the "fuck Joe" part of her sign was a specific reference to the chief Salvaggio. Given her last experience with the ATF sign, this same woman went to the same place, Mike, about 6 months ago and held up a sign that said "fuck ATF." And then the police, and then some of the cops, and this was right in front of City Hall, walked past her, and in a security card asked her a question, and they didn't care. They said, "Just stay on the sidewalk and we don't care." So she went to that exact same spot 6 months later and held up a sign that said, "Well, I changed my mind. Fuck the police." Right?
Yeah.
So anyway, given her last experience, she thought she would skate, but no luck. The cops ended up arresting her and confiscating her sign as evidence before placing it in a garbage can, which would be tampering with evidence as long as we're using cop logic here. "It's not content neutral," she said. "They were fine with a sign that said "fuck the ATF," but not with a sign that said "fuck the police." The cops kept her in handcuffs for almost an hour before releasing her on a disorderly conduct summons. And there it goes. The battle started in May 2018 when a First Amendment auditor who goes by the name Mexican Padilla entered the police station with his camera recording. His video shows a female employee giving him permission to enter an area through double doors, but once inside he was confronted by Chief Salvaggio, who accused him of entering a restricted area. And if you look at the video, you'll see the cop is almost like beating him up He's saying, like, what's that? We got camera in your hand? No camera here. And he gets closer and closer to him. And the guy's saying, like, I'm just camera here, just filming. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. And then you see him go down.
Huh.
The reason, so this idea of, like, cops are good, right? Or there's just a few bad apples. I mean, this is an example maybe of a bad apple, but it also kind of highlights, like, their attitude. Like,
I watched a video a while back of a guy going from police station to police station to police station asking for a form to file a complaint on a police officer. And every single station like chased him out of there. Like, why? Let me see your ID. Why do you want to fill out the form? They didn't say no. There's no form. They said, why do you want to fill out the form? What's your name? Where's your ID? You know, it was all this like big threatening, you know, in his face kind of thing. And then went from police station to police station to police station. It was an hour-long video at least, and they just, it was unbelievable. They just got hassled everywhere they went.
Yeah, so it was a reoccurring theme.
Yeah.
It wasn't just one police department that was giving them shit. It was everywhere.
Yeah. Like only one place were they given a form to fill out a fucking and I think they got hassled a little bit, but it wasn't like or it was just a single person, but he's having another person film him, you know. But I think they got hassled. He got hassled just a little bit, but they actually got a form and got away. But it was only like one out of like maybe 20 places. It was unbelievable, Des. That was a fucking unbelievable. It's fucking. I just couldn't believe it, man. The cops have zero respect for us, you know. And this is what I keep saying. If you want us to respect you have to respect me. It's like when I talk about if you draw a line in the sand, you know, the first thing I'm going to do is step across it because you need to understand that you're not the boss of me, so that we can have some kind of mutual respect. You know, and if that's what you want, otherwise we have nothing, you know. So, or we're not going. It's not going anywhere.
I just think it has to do with their attitude. It could be related to fear. It could be related to bad training, but it isn't just in.
It's not that. Texas. It's that they're above the law, and if you're challenging that, they're going to act like they're going to harm you. They're, you know, I mean, when cop says, "Let me see your ID." I mean, that's like, you know, the next thing they say is you're under arrest. You know, so
it's a little. It's almost sadistic.
Yeah.
On a certain level. There's this other article. This article right here. This is from copblock.org. And again, this video is 1 minute and 32 seconds long, and it says, Keene, Keene, police send SWAT team to arrest non-violent man having incident. And he was filming in his house when they came and they arrested him. He didn't know they were coming. And this is the story. It says, according to New Hampshire radio, when his parents, who love their son dearly, heard that he was having erratic behavior, they were concerned for safety. They called the police to have him involuntarily committed so he could get help.
Oh, man.
He desperately needed at the time, or so they thought. Unfortunately, the Keene police showed up and took things from bad to worse by responding to the mentally ill man with every cop in the vicinity, plus the state police. One neighbor reported counting at least 11 police cruisers on the scene. It was a huge show of force considering NBR, the person, had no history of violence nor had threatened anybody. In fact, he wasn't charged by the police on the night in question with any crime. The police took him into custody without incident and delivered him to the Cheshire Medical Center to begin involuntary commitment. There was no legitimate reason for such a large police response. There was also no reason for several armed men with at least one laser-sighted assault rifle and 2 full-body shields to break down his front door and terrorize him. Though he expressed to the officers that he just wanted to go to sleep, he told me he did not resist their arrest. The video and photograph he took during the break-in by Keene police, who broke down his front door, is stunning, terrifying, and just sad. In the video, at least one laser-sighted assault rifle is pointed at NBR as police demand he put down the phone in his hand. He makes it clear he is recording them, thankfully not being shot to death for holding his phone. People have been killed by police in other jurisdictions when police claimed they thought the phone was a gun. He even managed to take an intense picture of the event to share with the world to show how dangerous the police can be and how unnecessary their actions were. And like I said, if you go to Cop Block and you type in police send SWAT team to apprehend nonviolent man having mental breakdown in his own home, you'll find the article and the video link. But it was pretty just yuck, you know?
Again, this is what I'm talking about, is that there's this huge mental health crisis going on, and there's absolutely nothing being done to address it. And then the cops are acting like somehow they're like the cops should not be dealing with mentally ill people. The cops are just fucking they're because somebody's having an episode for whatever reason, their brain's not functioning correctly, and the cops like comply or die, which is how they are. I mean, it's just not right.
No, it does. It gives the person very little choice in the matter at all. They're just going to respond instinctively to somebody who's being very aggressive. And what is that? Fight or flight? And it's one or two. And either one with the cops is going to result in a bad situation. Not good situation. Not a good situation. This is a brief excerpt from the Stop the Drug War. And this looks at a different aspect of police corruption. But I think I mentioned this the other night about how the police and crime, like you always talk very, poignantly about how the drugs are what's responsible for a lot of the crime. And the police are intricately related with that trade by kind of regulating the dealers, deciding who gets money, who doesn't get money, that kind of a thing. So this story is from Detroit, and it says, Detroit narcotics officers accused of corrupt policing. A raid on the Detroit Police Department's narcotics unit in August has uncovered dirty dealing there. Investigators found a half a dozen instances of narcs stealing money from alleged drug dealers, and 2 where drugs were planted on suspects. One former narc was arrested the day of the raid on federal charges he took bribes from a drug dealer. And Chief James Craigs said he's looking at the unit that the officer was assigned to. Quote, sadly, as we continue our probe, we think it's going to grow in terms of magnitude, end quote. So clearly they have an authoritarian attitude, but many cops are willing to take a little extra off the top for themselves.
Cops are. This is the problem. I just again, these are the pillars of the community, and again, we all want cops that we can look at like they're heroes. I don't want to bash on cops. I wish that cops were the heroes that we all want them to be. I really do. I look around, and the problem is that the good cops know who the shitty cops are. Okay, the good cops know who the cops are that are going to hurt people. The good cops know who the cops are that are looking forward to hurting people. And those cops, they protect those cops that are going to hurt people. And that's why, it's a very difficult problem to have to deal with.
The blue line thing, the line that they won't cross ever. Yeah, so those are some cop stories, and one last point, and this was related to something Michael said last week. He was curious about how much money we had given to Israel, and I found this website called it's Washington Report on Middle East Affairs. It's a think tank, and they say that we've given $84 billion, $84.8 billion to Israel since between 1949 and 1997. So we've probably given another 50. So probably over $100 billion we've given to them.
In how many years?
That was between 1949 and 1997.
So and then you can tack on another 40, 60 billion on top of that.
That's what I'm guessing, Mike. So between 140 and 200 billion dollars.
Yeah.
That's probably right. Anyway, just so that we have a ballpark idea of how much money we've given Israel. And that ballpark number of a couple hundred million, right? A couple $100 billion could be used for housing, for food, to restore the environment, for mental health, for medicine, for all of these things, our infrastructure that's falling apart, all of these things could be addressed with this money, and instead we've just given it away to these people who they do protect our interest, I guess, for the oil. I guess that's kind of like an insurance policy to protect American interest in the Middle East, but it's a pretty expensive insurance policy.
This is beyond expensive. It's cost America its soul, basically.
Yeah. Divide that $140 billion by $6 billion, you could have bought quite a few aircraft carriers. Really.
Yeah.
If you just even look at it from a strategic point of view, like a military outpost, we could have even found better ways to protect those resources without riling up the people by just investing in military hardware instead of some rogue apartheid state.
Yeah. Well, instead of fucking destroying, I don't know, man. It's just, it's this bullshit that never ends with the fucking the military-industrial complex. It's all they want to do is talk about is just make more war, and these people are going to get us if we don't go get them. And how in the hell is that right at all? All they're doing is making more enemies. They're just giving us a never-ending enemy to be, like I keep saying about Iraq and the blowback that's coming from Iraq. There's gonna be. And rightfully so. And it's not even a matter of rightfully so. It's that you can't avoid it. It's the blowback. The blowback is like for every force there's an equal and opposite for every action there's equal and opposite reaction. And that's where we're at is and that's what they want. That's what these wars have been about, is to create this enemy, because we didn't have an enemy. They created this enemy that we now are going to have to fight for generations to come, for the sole purpose of building our military-industrial complex into. And the problem is, the more weapons that are created and spread around the world, the more fucking war there's going to be. It's just this never-ending cycle of disgusting shame. And for the sole purpose of making filthy rich people even more filthy rich.
Yeah, it is about money, and that was the thought. One of the reasons why we antagonize other nations around the world and we cause so much trouble, rile things up, is it creates conflict. And when there's conflict, it means you have to have a tool to deal with the conflict, and that promotes the military-industrial complex. And Israel is a part of that. I mean, that is a fact. There's a book I read a couple of years ago called The Political Economy of U.S. Militarism by Ismail Hossein, and he teaches at Drake University, which is small liberal arts college in Iowa. But the book is talking about what actually influences U.S. militarism, and I believe he identifies like 3 things. And one is the industry itself, the military industry. And another one are people who promote Israel's foreign policy in the United States. So that would be a Zionist influence. And then there's also another influence, like neoconservative influences, projecting American economic power and hegemony around the world. But anyway, Political Economy of U.S. Militarism, it's about 10 years old. You can find it on Amazon. And
you got plans for the weekend? You got plans for the weekend?
Yeah, I have to conduct an interview for my house. I'm going to be renting out a room in my house to save some money. So I've been living by myself for several years, and I have to cut my expenses a little bit.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to be interviewing housemates, and that's going to be a trip. And that starts on Sunday. So I've just been doing a lot of cleaning and trying to figure out how to share space. Not something I've done very often in the last few years.
I hear you. I mean, I get living alone for sure. I know what that's like, and it's a big change to have somebody, to be sharing a space with somebody, especially after a few years of doing it yourself.
Yeah. So one of the things is I've just accumulated a lot of things that I appreciate, but they're more obstacles than they are benefiting me. And I just need to get rid of all of this extra stuff. So I'm going through one of those cleansing cycles. People do that in their life.
Yeah.
Where they purge themselves from all their shit.
Yeah.
Like I told you a couple of weeks ago, I was purging books. So I'm purging furniture and purging houseplants and going through the landscape.
Houseplants?
Crazy. I have too many houseplants.
Oh, man.
Do you like houseplants?
No.
Do you?
No.
Okay.
I do, but I'm going to grow my own, so.
There was a science story I didn't mention, and I think it's right here if I can find it quickly. But scientists have found that plants actually make noises that they can monitor. That they never knew this before. The article says plants can scream. If I can find it here. Which is kind of interesting. There's a certain frequency where they can actually listen to the plants. And the reason why they think it might be advantageous for people is for watering and fertilizing plants and determining if the plant is getting enough light or not. So there might be different ways we can monitor plants. I can't find the link.
I used to tell my mom I could hear the trees screaming all across during Christmas. I could hear the trees screaming, constantly screaming.
And the other scream that we hear on tapes sometimes is of whales. And the Daily Mail recorded that they found a whale, or they predict that whales live 25 years longer than they previously had thought. Specifically bowhead whales. And it says bowhead whales could have been swimming around in the Arctic Ocean for 268 years. And
wow.
They found a whale in the year 2007. This is weird. Although none has been found that dates to 1751, it would explain why a whale found in 2007 had a 200-year-old harpoon lodged in it. So,
I think that we don't know nearly as much as we think that we know. That's for sure.
But that is pretty amazing. I know tortoises can live to be old, like 150, 200 years old. But
yeah.
Mammals, that's pretty amazing.
Well, so the birds amazing. Too. Birds, the big birds live to be very old also.
That's true.
Yeah.
Parrots, I know, live to be very old. But I'm going to have a good time this weekend. Try to have a positive attitude.
Well, maybe you'll meet somebody cool. Maybe you'll make a new friend.
Maybe I should make a new friend. I got some Mystery Girl. That's my herb for this weekend. Mystery Girl.
I like that name.
Funny that you mentioned that. And I watched a movie about disgruntled singles last night called High Fidelity.
Oh, my friend, that's like his favorite movie.
I lived in that neighborhood for like 2 years, about 5 blocks away from where that movie was shot. So it was really interesting watching all of the shots of the film, which of course made me depressed and made me think about ex-girlfriends like it was supposed to do. Anyway, Mystery Girl it is. How about you? Are you going to have a good weekend?
I'm going to start seeds this weekend, damn it. I'm starting seeds. So
they'll be sprouting.
I got the nursery set up this afternoon, and I'm gonna hang my other light in the other tent, so I can have, and then I will start seeds. So everything will be in place, and then I'll go ahead and start seeds.
Well, I'll be looking forward to seeing those seeds germinate and sprout.
Me too.
On a video.
Me too. Can't wait.
All right, I'll let you enjoy your weekend and the rest of your program. Again, thanks so much for your program and for Mike and the other callers. And everyone have a great weekend.
Thanks for calling, Chris. Good to hear from you. You too.
Mm-hmm. Bye-bye.
Bye. So, anyways, Craig made T-shirts, and again, it's an embroidered patch. Okay, this is the back right here. So it's embroidered. It's a pretty darn heavyweight T-shirt. You saw how big it is. I mean, it fit me nice and loose. I actually think it's pretty comfortable. And that's with me wearing another T-shirt, which I never would wear a T-shirt on top of a T-shirt. I'm just not that kind of guy. I run a little on the hot side, if you know what I mean. But it's, again, it looks like this is I think that's a pretty good label. I think that's a pretty good name, and it's actually really thick. I was kind of like, first I was like, Craig, don't order anything without my approval. Okay? Do you hear what I said? Don't order anything without letting me say okay. And then he went ahead and ordered the T-shirts. Naturally, I said, I don't want white T-shirts. So white T-shirts. But I actually think that they're very nice. I actually do. I think the embroidering is quite impressive. And the quality of the T-shirt is actually better than I hoped. So I'm kind of impressed. It's a good T-shirt, so you know. Now, who else wants to call Mock? Oh, I know. Let's do a video. I got a video. Here we go. Video. Clip 1.
Sorry to see that go. Next week's Democratic debate at Loyola Marymount could be a lot smaller than thought. Only 7 candidates made the cut, and now more than half of them say they will not show up because of an ongoing labor dispute at that university. 150 service workers at the school are on strike, demanding better wages and benefits. Among those who say they will not cross the picket line to get to the debate are the top runners Joe Biden, Elizabeth Warren, and Bernie Sanders. That debate is scheduled right now for Thursday night.
Thank you. What was I saying? I was saying I thought that was a good story because you got booted. I thought that was a good story because got booted. I thought that was a good story. I thought it was an interesting story because, you know, there's this debate right? And only there's going to be the first time there's only going to be 7 people on stage, and and they said, and now none of them are going to show up. So, and that's next Thursday. So I don't know what's happening. I mean, it looks like there's no debate in December, which is crazy. No one expected that. No one expects the Spanish Inquisition. I know. You're not hearing anything still? You can't hear me? You can't hear me? You can hear me. Right? You can hear me. We have not heard anything since you put up something on the screen. Only when I'm watching. Refresh. You can't hear? You can't hear? Okay. Craig says the audio is going out. So, why you fucking with me, Wilco? And where was I at? I was saying that the Democrats are supposed to be a debate next Thursday. It looks like it's not going to play because there's some kind of a union strike going on at the place where they're supposed to be holding the debate. So the Democrats are saying that they are not going to cross the picket line in solidarity with the union workers. That's what I'm seeing. So, so that's I thought that was kind of cool, except for the part where Tulsi Gabbard's not going to be in the debate because that's a bunch of bullshit. What should we do next? You want to see the video, the public pooping video? Let's take a vote. Do you want to see the public pooping video or not? Because we don't have to, but I think that this is one of the things I keep talking about is the mental health, mental health problem in this country, and it's going to come up again and again and again throughout our society for the rest of our days until it gets addressed. So that's why, that's why I have dogs on trampolines. That would be good. We'll look for one of those videos. Hey, buddy. The mental health thing. Number one, this is one of these things where I would never claim to be a Christian, but this is like the most simple, basic Christian thing. Is these people need help. And we act like somehow they can just be thrown into prison and it's going to get better. This is, and those people that are really mentally ill get abused so badly in prison. So I think, again, I wouldn't claim to be Christian for a second, but I mean, it seems like we can do better. I don't know. Therefore the grace of God go I, right? So because we're all pretty fragile, and seems like anybody could really be broken at any moment, through some tragic event or whatever. Like I said, and life's never ending tragedy, I mean, but that's the thing is somebody was saying earlier about Chris was saying that how after you invest all this time into the dog and then the dog gets ill and then the dog goes away and then you're like so sad, and I really think that when Rufus is gone, that Rufus will never be gone, number one. And that I'll know that Rufus had this great life where we went places and we met people, and there was always adventure and new things to experience, new food, new sights, new people, new music. He loves going to live music, So I'm not ever gonna think like, oh, poor boo-hoo. I mean, I might be sad for a minute, but Rufus had a pretty good life for her dog, who we didn't know was gonna make it at 6 months old. Everybody knows his name. Everybody loves Rufus. Everybody loves Rufus. So Anyways, okay, so this is our first merch. Merch, that's how you say it, merch, right? I keep wanting to say merc. This is our first merc. It's a it's a Craig special. It's a long sleeve, thick T-shirt with an embroidered Mox News patch. It says unfair and biased, and that is embroidered on there. And it's a nice thick T-shirt. I don't think that you would be disappointed. I actually was really concerned about Craig making this order, and told him not to order anything without my approval. But we got T-shirts, so I'm actually much more impressed than I thought I would be. So Okay, so anyways, I hope you guys are looking forward to a great weekend, and thanks so much for tuning in. We're doing this every Monday through Friday at 7 p.m., and we'll do it for as long as there's phone callers. Did you want to see the public pooping video? I'll play the public pooping video, but again, it's not about pooping. The point is that this is what happens when you don't address the mental health issue, because no person in their right mind will walk down the street and then in the middle of the sidewalk where everyone else walks just drop their pants and poop and then walk away. No one in their right mind would ever do that, because they'd at least go over to the gutter. That should be a sign of at least some sanity. But this is somebody that's just fucked up in the brain. So no, I don't think so. Clip 2 coming up right now. You ready? Here we go.
Enough is enough. That's the plea from another downtown Seattle business owner who is so tired of disgusting and dangerous activity in front of his restaurant that he is documenting it. And he wants city leaders to see the video and do something. Project Seattle's Matt Markovich talked to that business owner. He's live with that story tonight. Matt?
Eric, we're outside of Juneau on 3rd Avenue. That problematic courthouse is just 1 block away. And as you can see, the customers here have nice big windows to see what's going on outside on 3rd Avenue. And what the customers saw yesterday, well, how do you say it, is something that you can't see and you can't unsee. A surveillance camera inside Juneau, a restaurant on 3rd Avenue, captures a man pulling down his pants, defecating, and then continue on his way as if it's a routine. So where did this happen?
Happened right here, right by the sign.
Jeff Gooch says it is.
I'm tired of the defecation, the urination, drug use, accosting customers.
He manages the restaurant, which is just 1 block away from the county courthouse, and its closed 3rd Avenue entrance and the large homeless shelter across the street, where twice during our short time with him, police and medics arrived.
Who cleaned it up? One of our team members. Yeah, we just had somebody else about an hour ago right up the street on the other side of the entrance urinate right on the side of the building.
Downtown merchants have ambassadors to clean the sidewalks. This one tells me there's lots of urine, but not that much poop, except in the alleys.
And you put it on the news.
This guy is a regular downtown street camper I've gotten to know. Right in the middle of one of our conversations, he gets up and pees on the sidewalk. People walk by as if it's no big deal. 2 downtown ambassadors watch him do it. He zipped up and life went on as normal. Jeff sent a letter to the mayor with his video saying peeing and pooping on the sidewalk is not the new normal. What needs to change?
One, I think there needs to be better response from the Seattle Police Department. If you kind of close things down in one area, people shift to another part of the city. I think it's a huge issue that I don't have the answers to, but I think the elected officials should start coming up with some answers sooner than later.
So we asked the mayor's office about Jeff's video he sent them, and we have not heard anything back from them. But come next year, the city of Seattle will be spending $1.3 million on a small fleet of mobile toilets that can travel to areas that are problematic. And we'll have more on that in our newscast at 6:30. Reporting live in downtown Seattle, Matt Markovich, KOMO News.
All right, I undid the microphone that time. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? So again, this is what happens. This is what our whole fucking world is gonna be like. At least America, if we don't address this fucking mental health thing. Just shipping them off to fucking jail isn't gonna work. Soon you're gonna have people all over the fucking streets pooping. Okay? This is just the beginning. I remember and this is mental illness, okay? Nobody in their right mind for 1 second would ever do that. The guy who gets up and goes pees in the middle of the interview with the news guy, right? That guy, again, there's people coming his way. This is, it's some kind of, no one does it. You go into the alleyway or whatever. It's not like I haven't pissed outdoors before, but you don't stand there in front of everybody and do it. And that's just a sign of, something's wrong. And, and this is what the whole world, meaning our world, the Western civilization, if you just allow this problem, this mental illness issue to get worse and worse and worse, this is what it's going to be everywhere. People pooping, people pissing. I remember the first time I saw it in Seattle. I was walking to the park. Right, there's this beautiful park down on the waterfront in Seattle where they do Hemp Fest every year. Right, it's right on the water. Those of you who've been around here before, I've shot video there many times. You've seen video of me shooting down at the water at Hemp Fest, and the first time I saw somebody publicly urinating, and I've seen girls squat down and stuff after, coming out of the bar or whatever, and they're like pissing in the fucking gutter. But again, they're pissing in the gutter. They're trying to get out of the way. They're hiding behind a car. They're doing stuff. I've seen people, but the first time I saw it where somebody's not trying to hide it, right, was at this park where I was walking to the park, and I'm walking in, and right at the entrance to the park there was a bench, right, and it's like a bottleneck where these two inlets kind of fucking merge, right? So, and there's a bench right there, and there's this guy on the bench, and he's just laying on the bench, and he's got his dick out, and he's just pissing everywhere. And it's like, what the fuck is happening? And it's like nobody, there's nothing, and it was like obvious nothing was going to happen. And it was just like the strangest fucking Twilight Zone shit for me. I guess that's Seattle now. All right, so that's my pee-pee story. All right, so, and that's all my clips. I don't have any more clips for tonight. I played that. I did I have this clip from, what's this? This is from I'm not sure, from the City News, from some Canadian news, and it's about that they're changing the rules in Ontario about allowing stores, cannabis retailers to open, which is really, really good news. Really, really good news. So And then there's the marijuana thing. From Major League Baseball removes marijuana from the banned substance list. These things are headed a good direction, people. These are the kind of things that we like to see when it comes to the marijuana legalization movement. Keep moving forward. More good news, more good news, more good news. All right. So, since we haven't had a phone caller for a few minutes, I guess we should all go start our weekend. Unless anybody wants to call, because I'm willing to hang out for another call if someone wants to call. Otherwise, I think we should all go start our weekend. Have a lovely weekend. Oh, now what? Hello, caller.
Michael.
Hey, who's this?
This is. Can I make something up? Can I just make the name up?
Yeah, whatever you like, man.
All right. So this is freaking.
I don't know. Can you make something up?
Yeah, I got something. I was trying to think of an old name that we used to fucking have fun with. Steve McClanahan.
Okay.
This is Steve McClanahan, and I live in Seattle, Washington. And I tell you what, I was listening to one of your callers the other night, and he was talking about some retarded people. And I just want to let you know, Michael, he might be up to something there. Okay, these people are pooping and shitting and pissing all over and jizzing and fucking leaving syringes and all kinds of condoms. But he was talking
about racist. He wasn't talking about public defecators. He was talking about changing race.
Well, no, what I'm saying is that this is a form of retardism, too. I'm sure these people that poop and shit and piss all in the alleys have some kind of a way of thinking that they're worried to death about other people's skin color. So, you know, you got to figure that if they're seriously worried about other people's skin color, they're probably taking a fat poop in the fucking alleyway. Okay, so he might be up to something there with that guy talking about retarded people.
But that wasn't an alleyway. That wasn't an alleyway. That's a fucking sidewalk.
Oh, they're pissing all over the sidewalk.
Yeah.
They're taking shit. They're at your goddamn front door.
Right.
You know, they're losing their fucking mind.
Yep.
They are retarded. He was right.
Well, it's some form of mentally illness. See, retarded is something, you know, that happens from birth, I believe. I'm not positive.
Yeah, well, no, I think they got it wrong. I think that they have some kind of a mental illness that's what we should use the word. I mean, is it Down syndrome? I'm not really sure.
No, it's just some kind of mental illness. There's lots of different types of mental illness.
Well, I feel like that this shit's being happened when they're born. They're born into this damn world right now, completely retarded.
Yeah, it's entirely possible.
Michael, I'd actually like to hear you just say it. Maybe one time, but if you think that your channel would get a strike, you shouldn't say it.
No, I think that that's look.
Can we just hear you say retarded?
I said it many times. I said it many times. Okay, so I don't think I don't look. I don't know why this is the only thing that you want to talk about. I really don't. I don't get that. But whatever. So
because I really think that it's absolutely baffling. I think it's mind-boggling. We sit here and we talk about all of this bullshit that is going on constantly, and all we're doing is just sitting here bitching about it, but not coming up with real solutions. Well, let's actually make this deal mainstream media news, because let these people sit around here, all these people that are worried about all this other bullshit, let's get them to stop worrying about that. Maybe they will sit there and think whether or not, I got to sit here and figure out whether or not I'm retarded or not. Whether I want to actually keep being retarded anymore. Or actually I want to actually better my life. I want to actually better the world. I want to stop being so angry all the time over fucking bullshit that it's literally 2020. I mean, if we can't figure out that we are Homo sapiens and it's literally 2020, we have got a serious problem. That's what needs to be fixed. These people are just shitting and pissing all over everyone. And I guarantee you, they're sitting there, oh, these motherfucking white people and these goddamn fucking Mexicans or these black people or yeah, that's probably happening. And at the same time, they're pissing and shitting all over everything. They are the ones that are retarded. I'm dead serious that you want to get a fucking conversation started of how we figure out how to solve this problem of mental illness. We need to call the people that are actually retarded. They're not mentally ill.
That's not
they
gonna
are
help.
retarded.
That's not going to help.
They are slowing down
help.
everything.
That's not going to help.
Yeah, it could open up the conversation.
So much for your input, but that's not going to help. Okay, we have to be adult about it if you really want to.
I fucking feel like that this is an adult thing, and it's actually kind of funny at the same time.
It
is.
It's not. It may be kind of funny in a childish way.
Everybody should fucking just honestly laugh at a retarded person. Actually, legitimately be able to laugh at them.
No, they shouldn't. See, and we have to stop it there, because I don't think that people should laugh at retarded people. Now, as I've said many times, I think that the racists are mentally ill because they have this thing where they're judging people that they don't know, and that's some kind of sickness that's in your brain. You can't judge someone that you don't know. You just can't. It's just not a reality. Okay, so so, you know, I don't know why this guy only wants to talk about this. But it's not a solution. To call people retarded won't help. What we have to do is recognize that there's mental illness and care and try, not just that there's mental illness, but an epidemic of it. And it's just going to get worse and worse unless we try and address it. Unless we try and make it better. We have to try and make these things better, and simply by putting labels on it isn't going to do anything, except for the only thing the labels do, you know, is that then you can disregard this. You know, like that person's a liberal, so I don't have to listen to what they say anymore. That person's a conservative, so you know where their head is at. You know, so, but to say that that's a retarded person, you know, isn't gonna do any good. You know, it's just gonna attach stigma to people that are retarded, and it's gonna attach stigma to, you know, people who are mentally ill that need help. You know, and why? Because you think it's funny. You know, oh, it's funny, we're calling them retarded. No. So anyways, and that's what we learned today, boys and girls, at Mox News. So, you know, other than that, again, we're doing this every Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific, and I'm still negotiable on the time. If people think that it should be earlier, let me know. Although Craig is never available before 7 p.m. Pacific, and it's always better when Craig's here. Just like you guys, it's always better when you guys are here. So thank you so much for tuning in. Okay, I played my clips. I showed my Democratic. I showed my little video, whatever this is. My web browser. I showed my browser. And we talked about mental illness, which was what I wanted to talk about. You know, it says Democrats, mental illness, Democrats. I was going to be like, speaking of mental illness, the Democrats. But I played it backwards. Oh, what now? Hello, caller.
Hey, Mike, how's it going?
Okay, how about you?
Oh, I'm doing okay. I just ended up waking up like 10 minutes ago or so. So I thought that you were on, so I called you.
Right on. You have plans for the weekend?
Yeah, I'm going to have a very fun weekend. I'm going to enjoy myself.
Excellent.
Hopefully get a little bit of work done, but you know how it goes.
I am sowing seeds this weekend.
Oh, yeah, okay. So, you're talking about the whole campus thing. That's actually really nice. You know, I do like plants. You know, I do like plants.
Me too. That's God's vagina right there.
Tell you the truth, cannabis is a panacea. It is a panacea.
It sure seems like it to me. I've always thought so, honestly. From pretty much day one, from the first time I tried it. It's like I said, that, you know, that Star Trek episode, like I said about that, you know, it's one of the keys to a good life is cannabis.
Very true. Yeah. I mean, one of the things that I end up finding is that, like, if I have cannabis, it allows me to go ahead and maintain my homeostasis, which is just my normal regulator, like just my normal body regulator. It allows me to keep it well, you know?
Well, that's good. I mean, that's I think that there's again it really helps to drop a lot of bullshit. You know, I always say it helps people reprioritize, because a lot of times people are like, oh, this is bugging me, this is bugging me, this is bugging me, and this is kind of shit that really pisses me off. And then you have a bong hit, and it's like, what was I talking about again? You know, because all those things really aren't important, you know. So it'll just get rid of all this stuff that's like just not good for you, and it's just causing you extra stress and stuff, and you just go, yay, I feel better now. I feel better now.
Like, I'm not even joking. One hit, okay, you know, you're getting there. But 2 hits, and I'm a completely different kind of guy. I'm the whole, oh, what's the problem again? Here, let me help you fix that for you.
Yeah.
Kind of guy.
Yeah. No, I think that's how everybody is. I always say that it's the sacrament, you know, that it connects us to the higher spirit, it connects us to the earth, and it connects us to each other. So, I mean, there's
okay, well, like, on that aspect, you're talking about an idea that's older than what you're thinking. Like, this is the Terence McKenna kind of shaman idea. Like, the plants tie us to the earth.
Yeah.
Okay? And the only way that we can legitimately survive on this planet is with plants. We cannot survive without them.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing, is that, like, these plants have to be our food. They have to be our medicine. And we have to be able to use them correctly.
And not just our food and medicine. Cannabis is, hemp is meant to be our clothing. It's meant to be our houses. It's meant to fuel our cars. You know, and feed the hungry.
30,000 different uses for that one plant.
Yeah.
There's 30,000 different uses for one single plant.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine 10 ways to use it. Okay, but there's 30,000.
Yeah, you can make anything out of it. I mean, have you ever seen the documentary Hemp for Victory?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is an old, good classic.
Yeah.
Fight for the military, because you know what? The military, back before the 60s, ended up using hemp all the time in their sales. The Navy men love hemp.
For the longest time, like forever, every uniform, every rope, every sail was made of hemp. You could farmers could pay their taxes with it. In fact, they were encouraged to grow a certain percentage of their farm in order to pay their taxes with it, because it was so beneficial.
15%.
Yeah.
15% they gave away to the government. Yeah. Every year they gave 15%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Trust me. And I wish that we can go back to the old days, the old ways, and actually redo it again.
Yep. It's one of the things that really will help us heal the planet.
When are we going to start the time for healing? You know?
We're working on it. I think we're working on it.
Okay. I mean, like, I'm thinking, like, 2020 is supposed to be a completely different thing, a change, a new way. It's supposed to, like, you know, the whole paradigm shift is going to happen in 2020, you know? Everybody's going to go ahead and look at everything.
Well, I'm looking for the next evolution of this species, Stephen. I'm waiting for us to something really big is going to happen. It's going to change the course of human history, I believe, and it's in the not too distant future. I don't know what happened to Steven. He either hung up or his phone died or something. Hello?
Hey, Mike, I ended up dropping out.
Okay.
Yeah. My phone dropped out on me. Yeah, it's a thing about telephone reception in the year of 2020. You know the thing. Like, our technology is not 5G yet.
I could give a fuck, man. I don't actually own a cell phone. I mean, I have a couple of them, but they don't have like plans on them or whatever. I don't ever leave the house with the phone.
Are you a Luddite? Are you legitimately a Luddite?
I don't own a phone, if that's what you mean. I mean, I make an awful lot of things happen on the internet for a Luddite.
Yeah, I know. You work a computer quite well. It's just, you know, if you're off a computer, you're just a Luddite then. You know, you're just an old school, bash the rocks together, make fire kind of guy.
Yeah, I don't drive. I don't do shit, man. I walk everywhere.
Okay, yeah, you are 100% a Luddite.
Yeah, if you say so.
And no. It's actually a compliment in a way. It really is. Seeing how if you're completely off the grid, you're self-sufficient.
I'm not completely off the grid, but I am. I'm not interested in these things. I don't want a car. I haven't driven for a long time. I'm not. You know, people. I don't want a phone. I really don't want a phone. I wanted a phone for a little while when the iPhones first came out, and they were like, shoot HD video. And I was like, on that little fucking thing, shoot HD video? And they're like, and stream it live or upload it directly to your internet, your YouTube page. I was like, oh my God, I must have an iPhone right now. And then like everybody, all these people started getting like $2,000 bills on their iPhones and stuff. And I was like, oh fuck, I'm glad I don't have an iPhone. But yeah, no, that was just for a minute. The advertising got me at first, but
for the year 2010, I graduated high school. For that year, you know what I ended up ordering myself as a present for graduating? You know, my father said, hey, go get yourself something for graduating high school. You know what I got myself?
What's that?
I got myself an Argis video camera.
Right.
An Argis video camera that is drop proof, waterproof, dust proof, shock proof, proof beyond proof, that you can fuck up this camera and it automatically still uploads to YouTube.
Wow. Cool.
That was one of the features. That was one of their selling points. Oh yeah, and it records in 3D also.
Right on.
I mean, like, I legitimate, and do you know how much that camera cost me? It cost me $99.
Wow, what a deal.
I know. And it was German quality. This camera still functions, works, it's 100% intact. It's amazing.
Sounds like it.
I know. So, you know, the only thing that you need to do is make sure that when you buy something, you buy quality.
I always say that too. I always say that. I mean, Wilco, are you listening? That's you know, that's why, you know, if you buy something that's actual quality, then you won't have to buy it again a couple years from now.
Exactly.
Like
exactly.
You said you bought that camera in 2010, right? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Yeah, and see, so and he still loves it. He's still bragging about it. So there you go. You buy quality stuff and it lasts forever.
That is
more
so
or less.
True. Why do you think I love old stuff?
Well, that's partially why I like to shop at the Goodwill, because they have all this fucking stuff that's quality made, you know, like with like real thread and real cotton and shit. I was like, nice.
You need stuff that has been already used and abused and is still withstanding the test of time.
Yeah, well, a lot of it isn't necessarily is so much used or abused, because it seems like an awful lot of it looks like the vast majority of it really just has been sitting in somebody's closet forever. Like they got it for Christmas and they're like, I'm never going to wear that. You know, awful lot of stuff looks like that.
Yeah, that is true. You know, I get a lot of brand new items. Like, I'm not even joking. Okay, so like the last time I ended up going to like a Goodwill or, you know, one of those shops, a thrift shop, what I legitimately saw was a baseball cap. This baseball cap was for the company that I just quit a week ago. And they were unable, after me working for them for like 2 months, unable to get me a solicitor's license, a baseball cap. The only thing they gave me was a shirt.
Well, what are you going to do for the weekend that's going to be so fun, Steven?
What am I going to do for the weekend? I think I'm going to go ahead and like try to lay low a little, but I'm also going to go ahead and try to make a little bit of money driving, because that sounds like a plan.
Well, I got barbecue. I'm barbecuing chicken and sausage.
Hey, when do you like to barbecue? Do you like to barbecue at night when it's all cold and stuff, or?
I barbecue anytime. If it's snowing outside, you'll see me barbecuing out next to the barbecue barefoot.
Me too.
Flipping
Me
fucking
too.
steak.
Yeah. I completely agree with you. I do the same thing.
Anytime I'm ready to cook, it's time to barbecue. And Craig just got a new barbecue, and he got a nice one, man. I mean, none of this fucking Home Depot crap. He got a nice one.
Well, I mean, like, did he make it, or did he build it, or like?
Well, it came in a box, and we had to put it together. Took a minute to put it together. There was quite a few parts, but it's a nice one.
So you ended up helping him out building it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay, so he's in your neighborhood. I'm just curious, is it a charcoal or propane?
It's natural gas.
Yeah,
nice one, man. Really, I mean, no, you don't understand. This is a nice one. He's
so
fucking.
You're talking about like you're talking basically restaurant quality grill.
It's nice, man. It's like we barbecue like I'm saying. When I'm ready to cook, I go to the barbecue. I don't go to the stove. I don't go to the oven. I go to the barbecue. So
you don't go to a microwave, I know.
So we go through, so like these Home Depot barbecues, we go through them, like he'll buy one and they'll last like 2, maybe 3 years, and that's about it. So he was like, fuck it, I'm tired of replacing these damn barbecues. I'm gonna go get a real barbecue. And he fucking got a real barbecue, Dad. It's fucking awesome.
Exactly. I mean, like, hey, you got to understand. Eventually, you got to kick those training wheels off.
What's the brand? What brand is it, Craig? It's a Blazer or something. It's like a Blazer. It says Blazer on the side, which is cool because every time I go out there and light a joint, I'm like, Blazer, cool.
Yeah. I mean, like, hey, if you're barbecuing, you at least have to be blazing too.
It helps. I am always blazing, man. I get up in the morning and have a brownie. I'm blazing. I'm telling you, a lot of times when we come to do the show, I haven't even had a bong hit before we come to do the show. This bong hit is the first one I'm taking.
Okay, well, I have a question. Are you still, like, when you wake up, like, you go to bed tonight, you're going to wake up in the middle of the night, like everyone does. Are you still a little toasty? Are you still a little lit?
Not really. I mean, sometimes, but not usually. Usually I'm pretty clear-headed. But again, I'm not really trying to get lit in the first place. I'm trying to stay upright and keep moving forward and have a proper attitude. That's about it.
But see, that is why people eat cannabis, not smoke.
Yeah.
Smoking is a completely different experience. Yeah. And you're aiming for a different kind of activity.
Yeah.
Eating is basically you're just trying to make yourself a whole human again. You're just trying to go ahead and introduce the plant back into your body. So, okay, Mike, I might be weird, but I ended up hearing this idea. I ended up hearing this idea a long, long time ago. And it not necessarily has to do with fungi, because fungi are a completely different species than humans and animals and plants. Fungi are 100% different. Like, they legitimately might be from a different Earth.
Yeah. No, I hear you. There's Craig's barbecue out in the backyard right there.
I'll double check. I'll go back on YouTube and check it out. But what I do want to go ahead and say is that, like, there is some kind of weird connection between plants and people. Wait, what was it up? I guess I don't know how many millions of years ago, but. Do you at least in your mind have some kind of idea where plants are people and people are just plants that can move around? They legitimately have legs. People are just plants that can move around with legs.
I don't know. I don't know. You said this yesterday too. I don't know. We're all just biologicals, part of this biological unit. Okay, there's this giant biological unit called Earth, and we're all biological units that are part of this biological community called Earth, and that's all there is to it.
AKA, we're just biomass. That makes sense. Yes. We're just made of people. People have, a certain amount of capacity on this earth.
We're part of this community, and it may be that we're at the top of the community. I mean, that may be some kind of ego thing that we have, but it may be that we are supposed to be the shepherds of this paradise, and for whatever reason, it's been programmed out of us to take care of it, and that's something that we have to get back.
Wait, I have a question. Why is it like 10 years ago there was this huge atheism push? It makes sense. Why?
Well, because of the internet, probably, and that there's, that people are tired of, and also because of this shit with the Catholic Church. The internet's made clear that the Catholic Church is full of a bunch of pedophiles, and that makes you question religion. Because there's, again, the pillars of the community are full of shit, and again and again and again we see that some of those pillars are definitely in the religious community that are completely full of shit. So how much bullshit can you take?
See, like, the thing is that when you say that, it ends up making me think. Okay, so there are these people inside this group that made these definite decisions, not mistakes, decisions, okay? There's a huge difference between a decision and a mistake. If you make a mistake, you didn't know. If you make a decision, you knew what you were doing. And there's a difference between being a child and being an adult. Well, all these people making decisions to go ahead and mess around with little kids, they're wrong, they're evil, they're bad. Okay?
Okay.
I do not appreciate the whole cabal of the elite when they want to go ahead and like trade children as money for sexual favors.
I get it. I hate watching the elites get away with all of their crimes, including those crimes, right? I mean, because they just do whatever they want, and it's like the law doesn't apply to them, and that's just not right. And
exactly.
Again, we deserve better.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
You already know. I mean, like, I got a box that I'm looking at right now. That's the Rothschild wine box that held 2 bottles of wine. I end up using that box to go stick all my nefarious shit in there. Because, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and stick all my bad shit in there if I want.
Well,
there's really nothing in it. There's really nothing in there right now because I'm not an evil guy.
Yeah. I wouldn't put anything of value in there because, I mean, that's the first place that cops will look or whatever.
What? A Rothschild's box?
Yeah.
They don't even understand who the Rothschilds are.
All right. Well, listen, Stephen, I gotta go, man. I want to go start my weekend. So I'm glad you're looking forward to some fun, and I hope we talk again. We'll talk to you again next week. Okay?
Sounds great, Michael.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and give you a big internet hug. There you go.
Okay.
Nice big internet hug.
Okay. All right, Steven. Good to see you, man. Good to hear from you.
Okay. Hey, you have fun, and I'll go ahead and talk to you next week.
Okay, cool. See you then. Okay, so I am ready to start the weekend. I'm going to go plant some seeds. I'll film it. Let's see. I wonder if you guys want to see what seeds I'm going to plant. Let's see. Where's that thing? There it is. Okay, let's see. Want that one. You guys want to see what seeds I'm going to plant? I'm going to plant Gelato OG. Let's see if we can look up the Gelato. Is it there? There it is. Let's see. We'll talk about it. You know what? I'm gonna pull up those pages next week. I'll show you the pages next week. I'm gonna make a video about it all. So, who is this? Is now 206. Hello, caller.
This is Craig. I'm calling from the producer's office.
Okay, Craig.
Hey, real quick. If you want it, since I mentioned in the chat, I noticed you have that Purple Press video, and a lot of people have been asking how you smash your flowers to get such a pure, clean clean extract. If you want, I got it queued up, so if you want to play it before you close out for the night, it'll just be a full screen video of dude with the purple press. I can't think of his first name right now. Brian, that was his name. I can't hear you though. Are you there? Mike? I think I lost the call. We dropped? He must have walked away. Hey, look at that. I'm the only one on right now. No, but if you guys want to see the Purple Press video with Brian, the inventor of the Purple Press, maybe we can play it. Wait for Mike to come back here and see what happens.
I don't care. Play it. I don't care. Whatever.
Okay, give me a sec, because we can just drop it up. I got it ready to go. Let me kind of a cool clip here. Just a sec. I don't want to interfere with what you got going, though, because I know you're done with callers pretty much, huh?
I was until you called.
Well, it is Friday, and I'm just thinking, since you had some people talk about this, how you press your flowers off and on. Wilco said he saw it, but let me do this. Let me put it on clip 3 just a minute here so that you can put it in the background here. Where do I have that shit heading out here? Just a minute. Purple Press. Let me find it. Damn it, Purple Press. Where are you hiding? Oh, I know why. Purple Press. There's why. Because it has its own spot. So let's make sure it's going to look good here. And shit, it's not showing me full screen, so let's see what happens when we transition it in. It may start automatically. Let's see. Oh, I got to drag it across. Damn it. Looks like it's stuck. God damn it. Alright, the damn thing is stuck. Let me see if I can get it where it needs to go and restart it again. Hold on, I'm going to put you back on live. Come on. OBS is being a pain in the ass right now. Let's put it back for a minute. Because for some reason that clip is not wanting to show up full screen. I'm not sure what happened here, but give it one more second. If I can't get it, we'll do it a different time.
Yeah, I'd rather just do it a different time, dude. I mean, this wasn't something that I wanted to do, so.
All right, well, just know that we got it ready to go, and if people want to see the proper way to press flowers.
Yeah, we should come out here and we're going to have to press flowers one of these nights, real soon.
You guys should do them live. Bring the press into the studio and do some live pressing on it, so that we can show people how the little pancake thing looks. All right, I'll let you go, man.
Okay.
Dinner time.
All right.
Pizza.
All right.
I guess Jackie Cat said she doesn't want a T-shirt, but she generously dropped down for some pizza tonight. So I haven't seen any other T-shirt people put their order in yet, but we will get them out first thing. And with the Christmas rush, if you want a shirt, let's get them going so I can get them to the post office either tomorrow or Monday.
So Craig has got T-shirts. Craig went ahead and bought T-shirts. He got the merch going.
Mox News merch.
So, and that's an embroidered patch. If anybody wants embroidered Mox News T-shirts. If any of you Mox News ninjas needed Mox News T-shirt, talk to Craig.
I didn't expect them long sleeve. They just kind of sent them that way. And what's weird is they weren't supposed to send them long sleeve, but these are kind of cool. We're going to look at maybe getting some ball caps. This was just a test run.
Yeah, so, don't order anything without my approval.
I'm not going to.
That's what he said. That's what he said last time, too.
I ran this as a test run because I wanted to see what this company's work was like, because I'm going to order some shirts for my business, and I figured what better way to test it out than get some Mox merch for the holidays, and that way we can get the old holiday donation basket cruising there. So,
all right,
all right, bigger than Jesus, bigger than wrestling,
all right,
bigger than the United States of America, bitch.
All right, see you later. Okay, Craig got T-shirt. So if anybody wants a T-shirt, be sure and let Craig know, or whatever it was he said earlier was like, donations or whatever. I don't know what you think. But Craig got T-shirts, and they're nice T-shirts. They are nice. This is a very nice embroidery. The T-shirt you saw me put it on it's a good size. It fit me well. So I might have to keep one for myself. Because I love T-shirts. All right, so I hope you all are looking forward to a great weekend, and we will be back on Monday. We do this every Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. Same Mox time, same Mox channel. I'm going to go plant some seeds. And I will videotape it to share it with you guys for sure. Okay? So, we'll see you on Monday. Stay cool till then, okay?
No matter which mouth you feed on a two-headed snake, it still shits the same turd. But lucky for you, you have Mox News. More than 10 years. More than 60,000 videos. Mox News has been filtering the nonsense and illuminating the bullshit from your mainstream media. Turn off your TV and turn on to Mox News. For over a decade, documenting the socio-political events that have etched and carved the pathways that define today's modern mess, Mox News has been providing clarity while faithfully bringing you today's relevant stories 100% commercial-free and subscription-free. And just like Lady Liberty vows to remain free. But at this time, we're asking you for your help, your patronage, and your support to keep the lights on and the videos rolling. For less than 17 cents per day, you can become a basic subscriber, knowing that your donation is truly making a difference that will help continue bringing the news stories that make a difference in your life. Turn on, tune in, and drop a couple dimes today by clicking the link below or visiting moxnews.com and show your support at any level. From a single one-time donation or dedicated monthly subscriber, do it now in less than 2 minutes. All donations are safe, securely processed, and verified using PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or Discover Card. As always, we're sure you'll find something of interest each and every day. This holiday season, give the gift of Mox. moxnews.com